Had an amazing hot topics. Like that was crazy as hell. We still talking about that shit
On a
now.
hot ass day.
Kanye, you did it a fucking again. But we're gonna get into a more serious note on other issues that is affecting our communities and affecting women. And right here, right now, I have the beautiful Miss Iyonah Fard in the building.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes, give a clap it up for that. Yes, and those that don't may not know who she is, which I don't know why you don't know who she is. She was the young lady who confronted her predator at a family event, and you suffer from being molested,
Right.
and she confronted him. Now, what made it so brave is because a lot of women don't do that. They keep that in silence and they deal with their pain. They cushion the pain. They go to all kinds of therapists. But she confronted her predator. So I salute you, sweetheart.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, she's our WCW in the building.
Right.
So I want to go back to that night. Was it a funeral?
Well, where I did the video at, that was the repast. This is after the funeral.
Okay.
When I noticed that he was there, that was at the funeral, I had got up and spoke, on my cousin behalf that passed away, my older cousin.
Mm-hmm.
So in the middle of me speaking, I guess I'm assuming that the audience, friends and family thought that I was choking up because of, what I was talking about. But honestly, it's because that's when I first noticed him in the crowd. He was sitting there in the crowd.
Now, was people actually really attentive to what you were saying, or like was your words going unnoticed? If you understand what I'm saying.
I mean, the only thing that people might have noticed is, the way my word flow started to go, the way I started to sound in the middle of talking. But honestly speaking, I don't think nobody had it on their minds that, what was making me choke up was the fact that I saw him. I think because it got overlooked so much over the years, people didn't even consider the fact that me and him was in the same room.
Okay.
Yeah.
So as you was actually saying these words to them, nobody was really like, oh, it's really going down, that she's really confronting him.
Oh no, see, because you talking about, the repast.
Yeah.
I was saying the funeral, but to fast forward to the repast.
Oh, do you? Hold on. Like, I'm trying to get a whole why.
Yeah,
like, you
yeah.
said this at the funeral also.
No, after the funeral.
Okay, after the funeral.
So
All right.
the funeral is when I recognized him.
Uh-huh.
After the funeral was when I decided to pull one of my oldest cousins to the side and ask him because he had to do, excuse himself. I don't feel comfortable with him being here. I don't feel like he should be here. It's not right.
Mm-hmm.
My cousin gave me a reaction that wasn't a yes or a no. It just was like, I convinced myself to take it as, oh, well, maybe he just going to take care of it. He not trying to talk about it right here. Let's not make a discussion about this. Let me just deal with it. Mm-hmm. I'm just assuming what a man, would do. It was a male cousin, so. But that wasn't the case at all for me.
Okay.
So seeing him and it triggers some type of emotion in you where you couldn't just take it anymore because it seems as though he was molesting you when you were younger. Was there a large gap of time space where you didn't see him, or was you constantly seeing him and then you had enough, or was it both?
No, I haven't seen him since I was younger, since those years. So, and I was 6 when that happened. Any other time I seen him right after that, I want to say 7, maybe 8 years old. But I remember him getting locked up after I spoke up about it when I was 6. And that interrupted, I guess, the process of us, pressing charges on the dude and whatever. So this is my first time seeing him as an adult. This is my first time seeing him in over 10 years or more, and I felt like I had to speak for my young self.
Now, the first time that I met you was at the Women with Voices event where you won an award for your bravery. And not just your bravery, but what you're doing in the community and speaking out and helping other victims as well. We're going to fast forward to what you're doing now as far as, but going back to that, you were saying that he was also, there was other children involved and you did my cousin too and stuff like that. How did your family react to you telling? Did you tell when you was younger and nobody believed you?
I told immediately. I told my mom. She reached out to all the family members, especially the aunt who was watching me at the time, and nobody believed my mom. you know, whatever she was saying, I was saying. Nobody took a side. I guess they kind of, you know, well, they didn't kind of, they brushed it under the rug. They made me almost believe that what I was saying wasn't even true. I had to, you know, smack myself in the face a couple times to make sure I was even telling the right thing, because I was seeing a distance amongst, you know, my mother and the family because of that. I almost felt guilty for what happened to me, and I knew I was telling the truth, and it was like, how could you not believe something like this will happen? How could you not believe that, you know, a child could experience these things and talk about it? And maybe because it don't get spoke about. I mean, I'm not sure if kids lie about these things, but I knew I wasn't.
And that was gonna be my next question. Like, was they trying to like ostracize you from the family, like treated you different, any type of way?
I mean, as time went on, people just pretended it didn't happen. He wasn't around for every family function, so I got away with being around my family without him being involved, period. But apparently nobody believed me if they even allowed him to even be there. And now, since my video has went viral, you know, globally, and I'm sure my family's seeing that, you know, everybody else seeing it, and nobody is reaching out to me. Nobody is trying to speak to me. If anything, I feel like it's some type of shade going on that I didn't ask for and I didn't expect. If anything, I was expecting support from them, but I'm getting just the opposite. Nobody want to deal with me. And the word is that I made the family look bad by doing what I did, by confronting.
I mean, you did, but I'm gonna say it in a good
Nah, she
way.
didn't. She didn't make him look bad at all.
Listen to what
I understand. My fault. Go ahead.
you mad argumentative.
I'm not. I'm just saying, like, how she didn't ask.
Thank
to,
you.
know
You
what I mean?
did, because that shows their shame too.
Right.
For them not believing what you're saying, that means they put on Front Street too, because they knew too. Even if you said something, or even if they didn't precisely know, you said something. They didn't believe you.
Right.
That hurt, and everything that carries with you is theirs to blame too, because they could have did something about it as well, or comfort you, or try to help you get over it. Not get over it, but help you through that process of healing. And everybody shunned you. Yeah. So that fault is their own as well. So, I mean, you didn't make them look bad. You just shed a spotlight of who they really are, to me.
Yeah.
Because I know a lot of women that go through this as well. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And, oh, well, you made us look bad and stuff like that. Well, nigga, when I was trying to keep it indoors, you wasn't hearing me. Mm-hmm. Right? Am I right a little bit?
You're absolutely right.
So
exactly.
Now as an adult, like, is the statute of limitation is too far gone for you to do anything legally, or?
I believe so in the state of New Jersey. Well, I'm not sure if it goes based off the state and the city, but I looked it up. I think in the whole state, I think it's too far from when it happened to you, or when you said it happened to you.
But is other kids involved also, right?
I mean, I'm sure that's the case, but they not speaking out. So until they do, then it's like, you know. But what I end up doing is I had moved into a new apartment 2 years ago. And when I moved in, I was like, you know, I got a son, he's 3. I said, let me see if I got sex offenders in the area. And he popped up. Wow. He popped up, registered for like 3 cases. And this was after me. This wasn't even me. And also, I had another young lady reach out to me on Facebook telling me how he raped her when she was 6 years old. Wow. So this is his rap sheet, and this is what he's been getting away with. And apparently he's been charged and dealt with, you know, police and seen a judge. And apparently it was 100% okay to let him back out on the streets.
So, like, how do you feel to see, like, this Me Too movement going out, and you see, like, all these so-called celebrities, you know what I mean, getting accused, but they shine a light on them? What about the common folk? Not calling you common.
No, you're right.
You're a star in your own right. You understand what I'm saying? But, like, how do you feel seeing, like, that happening?
I know in this game, which I try to charge everything to, is, you know, if you got a platform that could be much higher, then of course your word to get around. Mm-hmm. I can't honestly say I see anybody do what I've done, you know, as far as confronting. And I could also say that, you know, what I did was before the Me Too movement even started. Okay. It was no such thing when I did what I did. I seen that amongst, you know, I don't know, maybe the energy was just flowing amongst the world.
So you probably the one that kicked the whole door in, like, boom.
Yeah, because I did that, September. That didn't start until a little after that.
Now, what I'm about to ask you may be controversial. Shout out to all my LGBTQ, ABCD, whatever community. Yeah. All right, but they have a portion in there where I don't know what that part is called, where size suggests or some shit like that, where they feel like, well, age something. You know what I'm talking about? Where it's like all the people, well, I feel this age, so I should be with that age. And they make it, you know what I'm talking about? Where they feel like
I guess it's
that should be
pedophilia or something like that. And
how do you feel about that? Being a young woman and having a young kid and having a old man, oppress you, and then they're about to make it normal.
Anybody with common sense know that nothing about that is normal, especially not giving a child the opportunity to make a decision. You can't make logical decisions as a child, and I don't mean like a 17-year-old or a 16-year-old. I'm talking about a little kid, little baby, and even them not 100% sure. I mean, legally standing, you shouldn't, be interacting with nobody that's a minor. But what I feel like, I don't want to say our government, but how do you feel about it? Is enforcing the idea that these people are mentally challenged, maybe, and that should be their pass for them feeling how they feeling. But a thought is a thought. Granted, you're free to think, but that don't mean you gotta make that thought an action. That don't mean you gotta go mess with kids because you seen a child and you felt somewhat attracted and you had no control of it. But you definitely had control of your action. You had control about touching on them and doing whatever. So, but back to people feeling like they could be with babies or kids or stuff like that. Like, who would even allow something like that to happen? So it kind of make you want to investigate, the people who making the laws or approving the laws, because these got to be the same people that's into that same kind of stuff, and it's disgusting.
And I was saying the same thing. Like, they doing the same thing, and they want to make it free so they won't get ostracized and stuff or put to blame as well. How did you cope? What were some of the things that you were doing to cope with this violation?
I guess the hardest part for me is not having any support, nobody like to have my back, because I knew it was wrong. And I know it was wrong because I told my mother about it. And a couple things let me know it was wrong. I'm not sure if my mother ever told me, I don't remember that far back, if she ever told me, never let nobody touch you here, touch you there and stuff. But I had a brother, and she made sure she separated the things that we did. She separated us in the tub. She separated us when we used the bathroom. We used the bathroom differently and stuff like that. So I knew it was a difference, and we couldn't mix the two. So I seen something being mixed, and that already gave me a red flag as a little girl, because, like, this is a man touch, I'm not sure if a woman would have been doing that and I would have reacted differently. Who knows? But I knew for sure that a man had no business even in the bed with us. Like, my dad wasn't around, and if he wasn't sleeping in the bed with us. But I know the only person I slept with was a woman, and that was my mom. So just him being in the bed with me, let alone touching on me and doing the things that he was doing to me, and it kind of made me feel like it was just for me, because it was other kids in the bed and he wasn't touching them at the time. I mean, not as far as I know, he was just on me. So it's like, I don't know, it made me feel disgusting. It made men hard to deal with, I want to say, in the future, because that kind of reflected in my relationships, how I dealt with things, or how I felt comfortable with certain things. And I kind of started to play the blame game. I was just using this, I don't know what it was, but I made everything real personal. I kind of didn't want a man to touch me a certain way or do a certain thing, because it just all bring me back to those feelings that I couldn't stand to think about, because it'd make me really feel like low. What's next from feeling low? A lot of people get suicidal. A lot of people go through depression and stuff like that.
Did you suffer from depression?
Throughout the years for other things. I don't want to say it was from that, because what was so comforting was that my mother believed me. So at least it was somebody, like at least one person. Sometimes that's all that counts. And she believed me. She stood by it. She stopped me from going over there. She wasn't one of the people who, forget about it, don't talk about it. And what my family is trying to tell me now is your mother didn't want everybody to know this, so that's why we mad at you, because my mother passed away now, so they feel like they can speak for her now because she's not around. Mm-hmm. So your mother wouldn't want you to spoke out about this and that third. And then this is my life. This happened to me. I had to deal with that pain and that damage.
I think it places blame on them too. It makes them feel shame as well.
They don't want to deal with that shame. If y'all was doing,
yeah, I feel the same way. I'm on your side about it as well. Like, y'all should have stepped up for me when I was saying it, instead of having me extreme measures.
Yeah.
You know, doing things outside of the box instead of talking in line. I think we was having a conversation about that earlier. But anyway, yeah. So moving forward, I mean, you've been through all that, and it seems that as though it played a part in the way you handled men and real life situation. I mean, it stifled your ability to explore your sexuality in a healthy way.
Right.
You know, as a woman, you know, would normally do it under normal circumstances. So, what are you doing now to try to change all of that?
Um, I'm trying to figure out the best ways that I know how to reach people because I always was good at that. But now I got something specifically I want to do. And it's not just women I need to talk to because I have a lot of men that reached out to me and way more men in numbers.
That were being molested?
Way more.
Okay.
Way more than you even think about. And that's another thing that's going to be hard for men to speak on because they feel ashamed about speaking out. They feel embarrassed about it. They feel,
because your manhood was taken away.
Yeah,
you didn't even give me a choice.
Right.
And to admit this, like on top of me being violated, I'm being put in a box. Oh, well, you might be gay.
Exactly.
I'm being stereotyped as well, so it's harder.
And that's real unfortunate because
so
now
sad.
it's making it easier for abusers to do what they do because they know damn well you ain't saying nothing or you
because not only you don't want the
it.
shame of it, you don't want to be considered a homosexual or somebody who's gay, you know, and really it's not your fault. You didn't. It's not like you wanted that to happen, but you don't know that. Then it's like
that's a fact.
This is.
I mean, today I had I spoke at it's called Second Home on Evergreen Place in East Orange, New Jersey, and I spoke to a group of women between the ages of, I want to say 30 and maybe 70 years old. And a lot of them women had a lot of testimonies and they spoke on the things that have been going on. And I'm telling you how old these women is, so that's just giving you a time frame of how long this been going on and before then. So it's like, and they was giving me, you know, different, like, for example, one lady was saying, you know, if you had one, it was real big on not having babies out of wedlock. So they didn't want you to have babies out of marriage. And then they don't want babies that came from rape. So a lot of the times you'll find children being raised by their grandparents because they'll send the mother away because she got raped and this is the rape baby and own the child as their own. And a lot of things that families did to just keep the name looking good. So it wasn't that they didn't care, quote unquote, about they daughter, you know, going through what they went through, but they wanted to keep the secret because they didn't want to look like they was, you know, out of God and all types of other stuff. And you know, besides that, it was a lot of situations where the men was paying all the bills, and sometimes the mother, in exchange, you know, she would use her daughter to, you know, to give, and the daughter happened to be the child of the father, so, you know, that type of incest. A lot of that was going on back in the day, and it just made it the norm. Another reason I was hearing today, speaking to the group of ladies, was that it wasn't a lot of laws for it back then. So it was nothing that really was going to happen to a man if he did that. They didn't really had too many cases of women speaking up to even create laws for it. And a lot of the cops that you're reaching out to, I mean, this one lady told me she reached out to a cop and he raped her.
Wow.
like it's just, we always had it hard and we always had to fight. So I've been going around, you know, speaking to schools, especially young people. Because this happened to me as a child, so a lot of this is going on to children, especially the innocent, people that can't speak for themselves. So they're going to get away with it with that. Speaking of different organizations, I also got an event coming up in my job. I work at Ashley Stewart, so that's on May 5th. And
yes, that's what I wanted you to talk about. And now we will be live at location in Jersey. We're going to be in a building. And so I wanted, because I feel like I'm looking at your page and you're doing a lot of amazing things. Like, I'll be wanting to go to the tea parties and all of the etiquette classes and, you know. I want to do all that stuff with you, and I feel like it's amazing to watch that, because let's keep it real. A lot of women who've been in your position had messed up lives and couldn't cope and couldn't come out of that bubble of that hurt. They have that pain and they try to medicate that pain or you know, outlash on society because of that pain, not realizing the root of it or trying to deal with it. But the fact that you turn such a negative, horrific thing into a super positive is like kudos to you, because you don't see that strength, that dominance anywhere. And I feel like you really took your power when you confronted it, because I never seen no shit like that. Like, who does that? People complain behind closed doors, or even if they want to do something major, they'll go to the courtroom, and the next thing you know, the guy is served, and you have all these different things, but you stood your ground. Like, that was the most powerful shit I ever saw in recent years, and I commend you for that bravery. I wish more women were like that and step up to that. And I feel like you took your power back. It's one thing to do it by other means, but it's another thing to stare that motherfucking in the eye.
Right.
Now, did he apologize? What happened? Did he like walk out?
I mean, no, he didn't. He didn't have nothing to say. He already, this is what he do. So he already felt like he done got away with it, especially if he got as far as to be around all of my family and attend the funeral and the repast and sitting there enjoying the food.
Yeah, because that
And
nigga
still-
was eating chicken. Did you
And
see
still
the
nobody
video and
didn't
shit?
do anything. Nobody put the beats on him. Nobody pulled him out.
And I'm sure somebody could have overheard. I mean, I ain't saying I was.
There was a lot of people listening.
Yeah.
They was listening.
So,
yeah, that's why I was asking her at the beginning. I didn't think she understand what I was saying.
After the fact, I went back to my seat. I was trying to see whatever my son was gonna eat. He ain't want nothing but the chicken. So got up, everything that was left on his plate. What I did was I grabbed my plate. He was standing like by the walkway. It looked like he was trying to engage in some type of conversation. I don't remember who he was talking to, but you wasn't moving fast enough, especially after me confronting you and you still here.
Yeah.
All he had to know is wasn't nobody gonna defend me. So it's just another girl crying wolf. And nobody believes her.
So nobody was paying attention to after the video started being posted.
I felt it was purposely being ignored. Nobody cared.
They didn't want to.
Nobody wanted to deal with it. Supposedly,
That's
it's
crazy.
a funeral. It's the wrong place and the wrong time. It was nothing to tell this man to leave.
So how was your relationship with your family after, like, I know, like, I only can imagine how it was growing up. I mean, like, after that instance, how was the relationship with your family? Did it open your eyes more, or it was already like I already knew what time it was? Like, it doesn't matter at this point.
I mean, it confirmed to me that nobody believes me, and not only can't nobody really even say that at this point now. I mean, it's apparent. I've been speaking this for I don't know how many years, and look, I confronted the dude, and he can't even mush the camera out my face or tell me, I mean, what would you do if a female came up to you with a camera saying how you did this, that, and third, and you knew it wasn't true? You're not even allowing that video to even, come on, that was a whole 1 minute and some change video. On top of that, I mean, I didn't mention how I smashed the plate of food in his face. I couldn't record that. That was just, in that moment, I was getting irritated with him still being there. And it was like, nobody defended that. But no, nobody in my family reached out to me. So what I decided to do is to keep moving forward. I'm decided to keep uplifting other females that's going through the same thing I'm going through, but nobody believes them and feel like, same with males. So what I decided to start, and I'm a great writer, so.
Thank you, because that's the next question. Go on.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to write a book. I'm in the process now, so that'll be wrapped up real soon, because I already had a lot to say, and a lot of this already been on my mind. So I'm going to put it all on paper.
Exactly.
So let's go back to these events. So the whole Ashley Stewart event this Saturday. So what's that all about? What it entails? What's it gonna have? And it's gonna have magicians and popcorn and shit.
Okay, so it's a retail store, so I know I'm limited to certain things that I know I'm gonna do. So that'll be, I guess the promo for the next event that I'm planning. So I have a date for that real soon, but I'm working on both at the same time. But no, it's definitely gonna be a lot of empowerment for women. I got different people speaking out, a lot of poetry, a lot of guest speakers, a lot of a few performances, people just showing their different art, and a lot of important people, including politicians and educators like professors and stuff like that. I think it's gonna be a good place to network amongst other women that feel like they're empowered and already prepared to empower other women, so that we could, pull each other up instead of pull each other down. So I think it's gonna be dope. So far, it's doper than I expected, as quickly as I already jotted down. So my job already, got their hands on grassroots things, because it's a plus size store. So a lot of women there don't come in there feeling as confident, and that's just the vibe that we try to give women. Let them feel as confident as possible. So. Yeah, it's gonna be great. I don't even know
I
how
think
to
it's gonna be
explain everything that's
amazing. I
coming.
can't wait to go there.
I need you to come.
Now, I know you have you have the book coming out and everything.
Yeah.
What if this sounds like a Lifetime movie for some reason?
Sure.
What if
That's what I was
Lifetime
about to say.
comes and offers you a movie deal? Who would you want to play you?
Oh, that's a funny question. Who played me? I asked him that the other day because I'm actually.
Y'all was talking about that. I hit the nose on the button.
Yeah, you did, cause we
The
was
button on the nose, whatever.
we was I'm working on a film now for like my life, so I got my hands on it's called Women's in Media. It's at Rutgers law school that they got in North New Jersey, and my aunt Pamela Morgan happened to be the director, so she was like, yeah, this is a good idea, we should talk about this. Who would play me in a movie?
Maybe like a Willow Smith, right? That's the
Hell
girl.
no.
See, because
She
these
likes
people
it?
around my
All right, my fault.
Thank you.
Shut
I
up.
think we soul sisters over here.
It's funny, right? Because why somebody in the listen, I think it was the Shade Room or Lil Duval, one of them. When they reposted my video, I see somebody in the comment, yeah, Lil Mama, she was wild. But I'm getting to that. Somebody put in the comments, oh, we thought that was Lil Mama.
Lil Mama too.
Oh, like Lil
like
Mama?
Lil Mama, like a grandmother now. She ain't Lil
Cause
Mama,
Lil Mama,
Lil
I can hear
grandmama.
her voice.
Look like Lil Mama.
man.
But she
That's
old as
not-
shit. Look how young she
Iyonah.
is. Like, come on, nah,
That's
no
not
way.
Iyonah. She need like one of those Nickelodeon characters.
I
She
don't
look
know.
like
I
a
seen her-
Nickelodeon
I
character.
don't know.
She need
I
like
guess
one
I gotta
of
find a little light skinned girl
That's
with some
coming
light
up.
eyes. But then it depends on. It might be a couple different people because if we're gonna talk about
Yeah.
my childhood experience up to me now and what I did, it's
Exactly.
like
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
I mean, Little Mama could possibly, but
Lil Mama's old as shit.
Sexy
She not-
Lexi.
Shit.
I think she's
I
trying
don't
to.
know.
Mama no more.
Listen,
She little
anybody
grandmama.
have any suggestions? Bring them to me because I don't know too many people that look like me. Not right now. That's not older than me.
And all these web series, somebody need to reach out to her instead of keep doing this. We in the hood selling drugs and all that. Step out your comfort zone and tap into this type
Yeah,
of
do
shit.
something
You know
different.
what I mean? Because
But I
it's
think
different.
it's Lifetime worthy. I want to see it on Lifetime. Fuck YouTube. I want to see it on a major network. I think this would touch and it'll reach
I ain't
so
saying
much
YouTube.
more
I've been saying
people.
niggas got the camera. They could,
I'm just saying.
Netflix could pick it
Well,
up.
we are pressed for time, and I'm so sorry that we are. But I just want, before we leave out, I want you to give a message to all the other little girls who are unheard of right now and maybe going through what you went through.
I feel like the best thing I can say is just something I would do, and it's to keep speaking. I don't care how loud you gotta scream, how many people you gotta tell. Never stop telling somebody. Keep telling to somebody believe you. I don't care if your mother, wish that you wouldn't. They try to, bribe things with you, like your family. People not gonna love you no more. Tell you certain things like that, and that's more specifically at children. They try to make you feel like you hurting somebody else by, expressing your truth and letting them know how you was hurt and you should never be ashamed of speaking on something that you went through because just like my voice, your voice can help somebody else. And, we got to break the silence. There's no reason why we feel silence, to our men and for boys, feeling silence to women because we feel like, they're dominant and they can, take control of us and we have no say and we have no rights to our own body and that's 100% false.
Yes, and I'm so proud of you, sister. Like, I really am very proud of you. Like, and I see more great things coming for you.
Also, hold on, not to cut you off, is more great things. I'm hearing you got a college tour going on.
Yeah.
Right now?
Yeah, that's something super dope that we doing. A high school and a college tour. So right now we starting in Jersey, but we're gonna keep expanding because so far the reactions I'm getting is exactly what I felt like I needed to even push myself to keep going further. And I was surprised that people were so empowered by what I did because it was never on purpose. But yeah, it's definitely gonna be dope.
We like was talking about stepping out of the box with the whole Kanye thing, you said college and high schools, but when you was going through this, you was like 6 and 8. You
Yeah.
think that you might do elementary, junior high school?
I want to do elementary. Only thing is I gotta find a way to do it with the parents. We gotta see if the parents want it, how they want the conversation to be conducted. Do they want to be there?
Yeah.
You know, so
I mean,
it's a little different.
Yeah, I know it's more
younger.
sensitive. Yeah, I know it's more sensitive. But the only reason why I'm saying that,
even in kindergarten,
maybe,
it's happening.
Maybe the cure, maybe the cure, or maybe a lot of these things won't be happening less if we encourage the youth while they're going through it. Because that's the age that they're going through it, elementary, junior high school.
Yeah. Even kindergarten.
If we can teach them to be more vocal and not
crazy.
scared about it, you could probably lead the way for that. That'd be huge.
100%. I've been, in meetings right now.
I think parents
talking
will
about
be with it, though. I think
making that a part of, the curriculum, at least anonymously, try to ask, at least so that we can have a amount, hypothetically, of how many kids are going through this. That way we can know that this is an issue. Because look, this is how many kids they say yes anonymously that they experiencing these things. So that's why it's important, because that's a lot of the students, which more than likely it is, because there's a lot of adults. So we know the kids going through the same thing. The cycle has not changed.
Yeah,
exactly.
It's just a different day. Thank you so much, Iyonah Fard, for
coming
through.
I'm proud of you. Thank you.
I really appreciate you sharing the story. For me, it was very important, for you to tell your story, because it's happening more than we give it credit to, and then when it does happen, we just brush it under a rug. Yep, and I don't know if y'all know this, but the whole theme of today is say it out loud with your chest out.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And don't stop being so much in pocket, because if you would have stayed silent, that would have been in pocket. That's why people mad at you in the uproar, because you was in pocket. Mm-hmm. You doing what they wanted you to do. You did what you didn't want to do. You was outside the box with it. Confront him on camera, and so that was out of the box like a motherfucker. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? And you did that, girl. Tell everybody where they can find you, where they can see your next showcase or your next speech.
Well, most of the stuff that I got going on, I usually post on my Facebook and my Instagram. So my Instagram is 5Butterball, 5BUTTABALL, and my Facebook is my name, Iyonah, IYONAH, Irene, IRENE. So that's what it is. And that'll bring you to my business page. It's the same name. So check out all the things that I'm doing, the great things I'm doing, and the stuff I got upcoming. I got like a post of, my tour dates of places I plan to speak. So it's going to be real dope. I plan to help as much as people that need it. Right.
Do you have like a hotline number maybe somebody could call?
I mean, I got my phone number, a phone number that I use for anybody that wanted to reach out to me. Yes. So I put that on my Facebook, message or call, and on my Instagram. So you can just click the link and get straight to me.
Yes, and before we end, if there's anybody out there that may be going through being molested by a family member, stranger, whoever, please tell somebody. That's very, very important. You don't have to suffer through this. Like, that fault is not your own. You really need to have a little courage. I know it's hard, but just tell somebody, anybody that you may trust, so that madness can end. And hopefully we can work towards ending that shit forever. And I want to thank everybody for streaming with Live at today. We covered so many topics, and I appreciate you, Iyonah. And I'm sorry, engineer over there. I know you want to go home, but this was very detrimental to the future of our society, and I think we need to start becoming better people and start loving each other. Stop trying to hurt each other. And thank you for tuning in. And we up off this.
Peace.